Good Wednesday morning, Faith family. I'm glad to be back with you again this week. Last week I had posed a question to all of you and asked you when was the last time that you spent time with God and just listened instead of doing the talking. And I took that challenge of doing 7 days, and I'm happy to tell you that I definitely learned more about God this past week and had a really enjoyable prayer time most mornings. And I say most because sometimes it was uncomfortable to just sit and listen, and the things that God was showing me was very convicting. So I've heard from some of you that you also took on that challenge, and I'm happy that you joined me in that, and I wasn't by myself, but I hope that that's something that you continue. I know that I'm going to try making that more my practice than just a challenge, a week challenge. So I hope that many of you will do that as well. I wanted to share with you a devotion that I read this week, today. So this week in particular, I found that this devotion just really jumped out at me more than normal. I've been doing New Morning Mercies with Paul Tripp for a few years now. A friend gifted me the book, and I can't find another devotion that I like as well. And it seems that every time I need to read something, that it's not uncommon that I read it here in this devotion. So if you've never gone through New Morning Mercies with Paul Tripp, I highly recommend it. But this one in particular, I'm just going to read part of the devotion from the day and then just pray that it resonates with you and means something to you as it did to me. We panic. God stays true to his sovereign plan. We wonder. God knows the end from the beginning. We pray. God answers with wisdom and grace. There simply is no panic in heaven. God is never anxious. There's no confusion in the Trinity. God never wrings his hands and wishes he had made a better choice. God never worries about what is going to happen next or stresses over how things are going to turn out. God is never surprised or caught up short. He's never in a situation that overwhelms him. God never feels needy or unprepared. God never regrets that he did not do better. God never fails at a task. He never makes promises that he cannot keep. He never forgets what he said or what he wants to do next. God never contradicts himself or fails to be exactly who he said he was. He is all-powerful, absolutely perfect in every way, faithful to every word, sovereign over all that is, the definition of love, and he is righteous, just, tender, and patient all at the same time. He's not dismayed or distracted by our panic and our questions. No, the sovereign move of his grace marches on. So God is not discouraged in the face of our weakness and wondering. He doesn't look at us and ask whether it's worth it. No, in the face of our ongoing struggles, his plan marches on. Why? It marches on because it is not based on our character, but on his. Redemption does not rest on our resolve, but on his. Salvation doesn't hang on our strength, but on his. We have hope because it all comes from him and rests on him. It is humbling to admit, but it is the only place of hope. Nothing of our salvation depends on us. It all rests on his sovereign grace. Here's the bottom line. He is able, he is willing, and he is faithful. Grace supplies everything we need. Grace will win. I just thought that that was just so encouraging. These times that we're in just seem rather uncertain. We've got a lot of things going on around us, in our world, in our families, in our church. And the reassurance that God doesn't panic, that none of this is a surprise to God, was just exactly what my heart needed this week. So I hope that you get some hope from what I just read, and you remember that the God who created you loves you and doesn't panic, and he doesn't make mistakes. I hope you have a really great week.